back on Gertie Rude, back again, that Monday mood. Well, here we are, we're all together here, troops gathered one and all, on a Monday late afternoon, coming up for early evening. So here we've got Mr. Starmer, Sir KIER of the Starmer Lama Rama, who's going to be apparently our next Prime Minister. So, I mean, you won't notice the difference, do you know what I mean? They're all the same. And apparently he's done something. Should we jump in and see what he's done? So the tagline says, conflict in Gaza has removed the camouflage from some anti-Semites. Blast the Labour MP. Well, Labour has been anti-Semitic like forever and a day. For some obscure reason. Not sure why. To do with Gaza. Yeah, Palestine. La-de-bleeding la. Not going to get into that because I just get me bleeding fingers burnt. I do feel too first. So, let's see what's happening.
Isn't really going to change the
Is it loud enough?
Netanyahu.
Loud as we're going to get it.
Therefore, just a case of essentially Labour being a bit browbeaten by activists and not wanting to lose certain elements of the vote.
Aha!
The first thing is...
No, don't... What's it? Procrastinate. We know that's the truth. He's like, he won't flip-flop like a mop, will he? He doesn't really know where he is, Mr. Starmer. He'd say anything to anybody. He's like the worst of our dirty old hoe bags that hangs around the streets of London town, especially outside King's Cross, where my old mum used to stand. Yes! You're easy to find Starmer there, because he's the biggest slapper going. Honest to God, he's a hoe of the highest bleeding order, that one. Of course, he should come straight out and say that Gaza needs to stop killing the civilians. They need to get their asses out of Rafah. They're at the Rafah crossing. What's that got to do with Gaza? What's that got to do with Hamas? And, I mean, to kill, like, one Hamas soldier and then you obviously do away with 300, 400, maybe 500 civilians that are entirely innocent doesn't make bleeding sense. Nobody is calling for peace talks and all this, that and the other, which is very odd. And nobody's really calling for peace talks in the Ukraine, you know, YouTubers. And all the people, again, it's the same, it's virtue signalling, it's going to a pitch now, really, isn't it? It's the most fashionable cause, the Ukraine, followed by the Gaza. None of them say anything about China, you know, putting the Uyghur Muslims into literal, they call them re-education camps. But they do seem to be somewhat concentrated in these camps, if you get me, capiche. Not so much for talking about that, though. No, don't talk about that. Shh, don't say anything. Because it's not fashionable. And you know, like the virtue signallers, they like to all be on the same page, all in the same boat, all singing the same slogans, and all eating the same vegan bleeding chow that they get down their necks. They all look exsanguinated, you know.
Palestine when they...
Don't think Palestine... Well, A, Palestine doesn't exist, and B, Palestine hasn't got any friends. They might have a load of virtue signalling bleeding numpties. I think TikTok is owned by China, and TikTok is full of deaths in Gaza, dead bodies of children, this happening, that happening, the other happening. Oh, it does. It makes lots of clicks and shits, and probably revenue for somebody. But they don't seem to have many friends that are saying, hang about, this is like genocide on a mass scale, everybody needs to stop. If one child is hurt, just one child, slightly hurt, one hair on the child's head is hurt. It's one hair on one child's head too many, in my bloody humble opinion. There is no reason whatsoever that they are now bombing the bleeding granny out of Gaza. It's beyond a joke now, it's taking the piss. What happened on the 7th of October? Took the piss. That was terrible as well. But it doesn't seem to be that, oh, you've got to be on one side or the other. How about you just say everybody stop shooting and killing each other and raping and beheading people? How about we do that? Should we try that? Should we just off the top of my head, just let's go crazy and just literally stop killing everybody? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? But it would be so, well, complex, I think, for these types of bleeding mugs. Go on.
I did. It was a long time ago.
Right.
Now, there is a certain element of
yes.
How many
talk your way out of it.
Dance on the head of a pin here.
Right.
Everybody wants the slaughter in Gaza to stop.
Yes.
It's how you do it. It's just by...
I'll tell you how you do it. I've got an idea how you do it. It's very simple, right? You know those things they hold that seem to shoot things out that kill people? And the rockets that seem to launch sort of bombs and one thing and another, missiles onto the Gaza. How about they stop just using them? Just put them down, walk away, go home, live in peace, to love and serve the Lord or whatever it is. Do you get me, capiche? Because the only people that are getting rich in this situation are the military-industrial complex. And also the politicians, all to a man, none of which are doing their job. There isn't anybody that you could say, actually, they're heads and shoulders above the others. They're all on the same bleeding page, and they're all slurping at the, the WEF bleeding trough, aren't they, really? It's no good saying, oh, Richard Tice, because it seems like right-wing media for Israel. And anybody slightly left or right, they're all for Gaza. And meanwhile, the unedifying spectacle happens every day. We are seeing children's dead bodies. It's disgusting. They will make me want to puke. So disingenuous. Come on, let's have a go. Let's look what's going on.
Whether it's within the Labour
oh,
Party
dearie me, there I am.
Commons,
piece of shit on society's shoe.
Very much.
Talking shit.
What Keir Starmer wants, what the Labour Party want, what I want, is a process.
Fancy chatting crap like that. How about we just stop all shooting everyone? Well, not me, because, I mean, I've never held a gun in my life to get me capiche. Ridiculous. And it's all because there's an election coming up this year, so now Starmer's sort of uttering or muttering about something to do with the ceasefire. But really, he's, he's a WEF whore, isn't he, really? Let's have it right, he really is. And he's about as weak as piss, really, to be fair, he is. In fact, he's probably weaker.
Whereby there is a political resolution. So
right. And we don't want... No, we don't want no more politics resolutions, my darling. We're beyond that. Politics has got them into this bleeding shit. And, like, the 99.9% of people in the Gaza, like, don't interested in politics, just want to live their life. It's the same as people in Britain. There's a small amount of people that are into politics. The vast majority of people don't give a stuff about politics. They just want to live on God's earth, in peace, feed their families, live a moderate lifestyle, nothing too thingy and nothing too down the hill. Somewhere in between. They just want a bit of peace and quiet. That's what we want. But no, we're not allowed it. We have to give you lot, all the media and political class, they all need something to do. They all need something to talk about. They all need to get their bleeding snouts in the trough. They all need to virtue signal and fling their virtue like feces in everybody's bleeding face. And to be fair, at this point, their virtue is feces. It's a load of bleeding feces. Going to pieces for feces.
Around Israel,
just Mr. Stummer.
Because if we don't do that, then it is pointless. And you've got to remember.
Oh, he's a man of people, he is. Sir KIER. Yes, he is. They're all equal under the socialism, you know. Yes, it's like I've said many times before. As soon as he becomes Prime Minister, because he's a socialist, they're very social, and he's a KIER, we're all going to be made dames and lords and ladies, you know, so we can all be equal. Do you see? It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Because otherwise, why have we got an elite peer as a socialist? Oh, we're all equal. Prime Minister. Doesn't make sense. Then on the other hand, you've got billionaires and millionaires, or you've got a millionaire married to a billionaire that's going to be the Prime Minister under the roof of wishy-bleeding-washy. And then you've got Tice and all them lot. They're a busted flush. All they're going to do is split the vote. They're not going to get a seat. They're just going to give it a lot of chat, cause a lot of bleeding tension, a lot of bleeding irate, blood pressure going up, and nothing will happen, apart from self-aggrandising themselves. But I'm not going to really trust anything that comes out of Farage's mouth, because it was Farage that said, don't vote for us in the last election. At the last minute, he called them all down. He said, that's it, don't vote for us, vote for Boris. BS. I've never heard so much bleeding hooey in my whole life. And he sits up there giving it, and people actually believe in him. And Richard bleeding Spice Tice, whatever his bleeding name is. They're all on the same page, all WEF bleeding mugs. Come on.
Remember, at the core of this issue
are
Hamas, who are dedicated to killing Jews.
I bet those kids were asking if they could be a lord or lady. I bet you they are, because if I met him, I'd demand to be. I want to be straight away. I think I could be a dame. A lot of people say I already am a dame. I guess a pantomime dame. Who knows? Especially over the festive season. But, yeah, doesn't make sense. Nothing they do makes sense. It's a clown world we live in. It's a million miles away from the era I was brought up in. Well, you can be a socialist, yeah, be a socialist. But if you've got some inherited title, you have to get rid of it. You have to denounce it. You have to just call yourself Tony, whatever his name is. What was it? Tony Benn. You couldn't be Lord Anthony Wedgwood Benn because he was a socialist politician. And he sat on the socialist side of the parliament. He was a Labour politician. So he had to denounce his birthright of Lord Anthony Wedgwood Benn, and he was just known as Tony Benn. But here, we've got Sir bleeding KIER. Yes? Oh, he's going to uplift all the working classes. He's going to make our lives so much better. No, he ain't. And this is another thing that's pissing me off about all these people as well, right? I've done it before, nearly every year I do about it. Yeah? They blimmin' moan about having to give nurses 5p in the pound more or this, that and the other to the train drivers. At the moment, they're all threatening to walk out if they don't get a pay rise. The whole of them, both sides. I think it's about 200 of the MPs have signed the petition. Say, if we don't get a wage rise, we're all going to walk out, eh? I mean, that's worth considering, isn't it? Tells you everything you need to know. The media and political class, as long as they're okay, and all of us can just snuffle around in the bleeding dirt for acorns, can't we, food tubers? Anyway, bye-bye now.